Hey folks, this is a bonus episode of VoiceOver for our listeners who also watch the movie collection on BYUtv. If you don't know, you can watch new movies every month on the BYUtv app. In my office building at BYU Broadcasting, I watch these movies advertised on the office monitors, and I occasionally think, oh, that's a great one. So today, I thought I'd mention a few things about a couple movies playing on BYU TV. We're at the end of May here, and I hope you've had the chance to watch It's a Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, which is about Mr. Rogers and his show, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. If you did, and you still can, I thought I'd pass on a few things. First, you'll notice that the film is structured as if it's an episode of the TV show that ran from 1968 to 2001. The film's production team recreated the sets from the original TV show and then used the show's original cameras to film the opening sequence. I don't know if you saw this in the theaters, but I did, and I remember seeing that opening sequence and hearing the music start, the simple establishing shots of the TV show, and feeling safe and grateful because I know I felt that safety as a small child watching that original TV show, which made my tears start immediately. Did you know Mr. Rogers was concerned about rapid editing and its effect on children? It impacted the way his show is edited, and you'll notice that same strategy in the recreation of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood in the film. Mr. Rogers himself only weighed in at the mid-140s, so Tom Hanks is perhaps too hale and hearty, but he does an excellent job conveying Fred Rogers' sympathy, integrity, and rigor. And notice how the protagonist, Lloyd, shows up to meet Mr. Rogers for the first interview, broken and battered. It's a symbol of Lloyd's internal life, and the movie is about watching Lloyd learn how to heal from Mr. Rogers. If you're moved by the movie, you should read Tom Genode's article about his feelings about the movie. It's adaptation from his original Esquire article about meeting Mr. Rogers in the late 1990s and his friendship with Mr. Rogers, which eventually led Mr. Genode to pray again. That article left me in tears too. In June, what's upcoming? Well, look for The King's Speech, which won 4 Academy Awards: Best Picture, Director, Actor, and Original Screenplay. It's incredibly well made and also an incredibly moving film about what it means to hold together a family, even when the family has always dismissed you, and how to overcome your fear of vulnerability and connection. One of the most important lines of the film is something we could all do to remember. You don't need to be afraid of the things you were afraid of when you were 5. Notice now, in the first scene, as Colin Firth, a prince of the realm, known to his family as Bertie, waits in misery to give his first speech on the radio, and how that's cut with the image of the radio announcer preparing in the studio. George is isolated against a white brick wall, sometimes framed with his wife. The radio announcer trills through a series of warm-up exercises. We hear the fluent accents of the announcer. We watch George mouth the words of his speech silently to himself. This sets up George's humiliating failure in front of thousands. And the film often films Firth in a fisheye lens, making the actor appear closer to us and alienated from his surroundings. If you're interested in more British royalty deep dives, also coming up in June is Young Victoria from 2009, starring Emily Blunt in her first feature film lead. She had, a few years before that, played a supporting role in The Devil Wears Prada. And now she's in theaters again in The Devil Wears Prada 2 in a much larger role that better accommodates her mega star status. So those are a few things about the movies on BYU TV. I hope you check out BYU TV. And if you're new here to VoiceOver, welcome. We're glad to have you. We talk about movies that made a mark, that moved us in some way. And we'd love for you to start listening and maybe go back through the catalog and look for movies that are familiar to you. I'm your host, Heather Bigley. VoiceOver is a production of BYU Radio and is edited by Spencer Boyer. Thank you to Nick Levitt for additional production support.